Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's been another day of World Cup soccer, the last of the group stages, and sadly, not the most dramatic one. But we did have some good action across all the games today, so we'll recap all of that and more, as well as take a look at some of the cool stuff that we've seen on field and some of the jerseys we're sad to see leave the tournament. We're also going to give something away at the very end of the video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for the passcode and figure out how to win. This is another episode of SOCCER.COM Live. Hello everyone and welcome to the SOCCER.COM live set. I am Cole with Adam and Martin.
Hello, Cole.
Oh guys, it has been a very eventful, 2 weeks now? Two and a half weeks. Finally finished up the group stages.
Yeah, we've been here for all of it.
Yeah, I know.
Those people watching don't know we actually sleep here. We've got our sleeping bags below the table here. It's been fun. It's been emotional. Today was a rather kind of anticlimactic end to the group stage. Yeah, absolutely. So, but we have 8, right? 8. Look forward
to. But let's go ahead and just start recapping some of today's action, just to not bore everyone to death. The day started off pretty decent with Colombia versus Senegal. Of course, Colombia needed the win to go through, and then you had Senegal and Japan battling it out in their games. Colombia did take the 1-0 win over Senegal off the header, I believe from Mina.
Yep, Mina.
Yep. The Barcelona man coming in big in that game. What did you guys think? Like, Colombia looked decent going into a knockout round?
They look pretty good. Bit of a worry, obviously, that James limped off. Will be interesting to see how, if he's able to come back for their game against England, which is their round of 16 matchup. They have the longest time to prepare for that now. They've got, obviously, if they had come second in the group, they would have had to play a day earlier. So at least they have an extra 24 hours to get James fit for that game. If he's in the team, I think that they are a very viable contender to go forward. Without him, I would have a favourite.
If I'm a Colombia fan, I'm really happy to go through, but I'm also a little bit worried because the way this morning, I think when you look at the way they attack, especially in the first half, Colombia were just left really for 45 minutes. And granted, James was injured, and so they were playing with essentially 10.5 men for most of the match, or for most of the first half. And once Muriel came on, it made a little bit of a difference, but if I'm a Colombian fan, I'm very happy that my team got through, because I think we could sit here and say that maybe Senegal were the most deserving team from that group in terms of ability to go through.
Yeah, I think every game we watched them play, we came away thinking, man, this is a really good team. And certainly, yeah, disappointing for them not to get out of that group, which was a group that, they certainly were capable of getting out of it, just and results didn't quite work out for them.
And fair play. First time it's ever been used at the World Cup. So Senegal getting knocked out because they had more yellow cards than Japan.
Well, there's 2 more than Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And of course, speaking of Japan, they actually lost to Poland today, but ended up going through. How many times have we seen this World Cup team that's already been knocked out just coming back for revenge in that final game?
Well, I think when you have big tournaments like this, it's people playing for pride. When it's in the Champions League or CONCACAF Champions League with those groups, it might be a little bit different where you're playing with your club, so maybe there's not that nationalistic pride, but when you have a cup and you don't make the point, we saw it with just putting a good performance and for the entire group, pure Polish form.
Yes, I believe you.
Yeah, Roger predicted it. Just along. But yeah, it's the Polish way with major tournaments. You get knocked out of contention, and then you actually play a good game.
Yeah, put together a performance.
Right.
Classic Polish.
Classic Poland.
Of course, moving on from there, we did have the super anticlimactic game this afternoon of England versus Belgium. Basically, the game to figure out who was going to have the easier round of 16 schedule. Of course, England ended up victors there.
if his teammates were super excited about it. But, good to see him getting his goal in the team. I think that's his first Belgian goal for the Belgian senior team, so that was nice. He's obviously had a meandering career since he first burst onto the scene at Manchester United. But yeah, I mean, obviously both teams put out heavily weakened sides, B sides, resting a lot of their major players. With the thinking that they were both through already and wanting to preserve their players for the knockout stage, and also the fact that whoever won that game would potentially have a more difficult match, at least in the quarterfinal, with the winner of Brazil-Mexico. So England, yeah, they lost that game. I don't think they'll be too unhappy about it. If they can beat Colombia, they face the winner of Sweden-Switzerland in the quarterfinal, which Germany, like many would have expected, winning that group would have been maybe a lot more important if they were Germany that was on form. Otherwise, I think you would take Sweden, Switzerland over Brazil, Mexico.
Definitely agree to that. And of course, the last game of the day, which nothing really riding on it, was Panama. Tunisia winning 2-1 there. Not much we can really say. I mean, no implications on the game. Good to get one last run out for the group. But that's how it works. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you guys with our goal tracker after this short message.
He saw an opening in the defence and achieved the hat-trick. It's one of the tournament's great goals. And this man is rampant now. He might have just won the cup for Germany.
Hello everyone, welcome back to SOCCER.COM Live. I'm standing here next to this pretty wall of boots, which we are calling the goal tracker for the World Cup, keeping track of all the goals that have been scored. And at the end of the group stages, it is a resounding win for the Nike Mercurial Silo at, I believe, 49 goals for the tournament. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah. Second place is the Adidas X Silo with 12 goals, and third place is the Adidas 10 goals, right on its heels. And on the heels of the Predator is the Nike Advent Silo with 9 goals, and the Nike Magician Silo with 7 goals. Below them, we have the Nemesis and Puma 1 tied with 5 goals apiece, and with 2 goals apiece, we have the New Balance Furon 4.0 and the Puma Future 2.1. A lot of goals in this tournament, guys. A lot of goals. What was it I believe you said earlier today, Adam? Every team has scored
Twice.
2 goals. Each of the 32 teams have scored 2 goals in the tournament. It's pretty incredible, especially when you see Mercurial sitting on basically 50 goals for a knockout stage.
Right, that's an outrageous number for one.
Oh, it definitely is.
I think the thing I've noticed is that Mercurial as a silo seems to be worn by not just forwards. I feel like in previous World Cups you've seen players stick pretty closely to the they're kind of supposed to wear. And you would not get as many defenders wearing what is essentially a speed or like a forward sleeve. And we've known so many defenders wearing Vapors or Superflies in this tournament, and that I think has bolstered their numbers a lot.
It definitely has. But we're actually going to take a quick moment right now and stop talking about our boots for a second. Tell you guys what we have going on right now at Soccer.com. Of course, the Telstar has been front and center for the entire knockout stage. They're getting ready to switch to the knockout round ball. Great looking ball. But all the Telstars from the group stages are up to 30% off right now, and there's another code, WCBall20. You guys can get an extra 20% off. On top of that, already up to 30% off. Puts the knockout round, or puts the group stage ball, at about $96. Highly recommend it. It's a great ball, perfect match ball. Customization's coming as well. That'll be really nice to have. And then on top of that, we have a 48-hour flash sale going on. This is day 2, so it's going to start wrapping up, I believe, tonight. It's when we're actually going to start to end. So make sure you guys check that out right now. It is at soccer.com/sale, I believe. Go check out all the items we have on there. Some FIFA or some World Cup trinkets, nice to have. A few keychains, Panini albums, stuff like that. Definitely recommend it if you guys can. But moving on, we actually have to say goodbye to a few jerseys, some of our favorites from the World Cup.
We're sad, we're saying goodbye to, I guess,
and we'll just hand them out.
The teams of the World Cup are going home. So there's some real favorites we have here that we picked out. Adam here has the Senegal jersey, which I think is a great example of what Puma did with their jerseys. Really nice design on the front, kind of gives some personalization for each federation that they do. The lions there of Senegal. So that's a lot of these jerseys. Of course, you can check out now on SOCCER.COM. You'll find some of them on sale now or shortly.
Wink, hint, hint.
Costa Rica, I think, was a really nice, clean jersey there.
Reminds me a lot of that Turkey jersey from 2016 from the Euros with that sweeping pattern
kind of geometric
that comes across.
There,
So I really like that kit.
Really good.
I like this one.
Say New Balance has done a great job with their kits as well. It's got a very nice feel to it. Great fit.
I agree.
So very underrated on the jersey market as well. Another one that we're sad to see go is Australia. The simplistic yellow with the pattern sleeves.
What a cracker!
Old Tim Cahill.
What a cracker.
It's never a true World Cup without old Timmy.
We got to see him.
Timmy?
Though. We got to see him.
Jimmy?
Yeah. Oh, old Timmy. Old Timmy. So we did have this matchup, and sad to see this jersey go. Looked good on field, and of course we can't forget Mannschaft.
Yeah, didn't expect to say goodbye to this one. I don't think anyone did.
No, I think we all thought we'd be seeing these jerseys kind of in the semi-finals, possibly even the final, but no fifth star yet.
Each day.
A new team will be wearing that post. Maybe England. Maybe a second star for England. Maybe a 6th star for Brazil. We'll see.
Of course, one of my favorites, and one of the ones I was sad to see go was, I think, Peru. Makes me feel complete for a jersey.
Designs, but they do them right. They add a little bit. They do classics well, which I appreciate as someone who likes just clean classic kits.
Peru, you can definitely go check out right now. I'll drop the link in the comments. Those are on sale, and I know that those are at least $30 off. So go check those out if you just want a great-looking jersey, if you're Peruvian or not.
Well, speaking of a great-looking jersey.
Oh, we know Adam's sad on this one. That's why he's wearing it today.
I'm wearing this one. And then the white Polska kit.
Robert Lewandowski, that was one of our top-selling jerseys for this going into the World Cup was Lewandowski Poland jerseys. I believe Poland was the top-selling country, or Lewandowski was the top-selling player jersey in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Yeah. So, any Wisconsinites out there, you can grab a great deal.
All right, time for one or two questions from the audience. One that I want to ask you guys from, I believe, Alexis Vega. What do you guys think the final's going to end up being?
Well, I don't know if we can do this, but let's just do this. Let's pull in the bracket here.
Let's see.
This is a high-tech operation here.
There we go.
We have our wall bracket coming in.
For it.
All right. We're going to be able to see this here. Our wall chart. Be positioned behind Cole and Adam. And so, looking at the way this is going to break down, we've got the one half of the bracket. I think you have to say probably France, the favorite in that top left part.
I'd say so.
Spain maybe the favorite in the bottom left, and then Brazil top right. I think you're going to see a France-Spain semi-final and a Brazil-England semi-final with a final of Spain-Brazil. I think that's actually the final I predicted going into the tournament. If you actually want these wall charts, I believe are available on SOCCER.COM, so check them out.
Spain-France will actually not meet in the semifinals.
Is that right?
Yeah, it actually goes...
It goes the other way.
So I predicted at the beginning of the tournament France versus Spain in the final, and I'm going to stick with that. I think that Spain are probably the best team on their side of the bracket. I could see them maybe running into issues with Croatia in that quarterfinal matchup. assuming they get past Denmark and assuming Spain get past Russia. But other than that, I think Spain and England could be a good matchup in the semifinal. Obviously.
Well, I'm definitely that's not good for me.
Yeah, not good for you. But I could see France versus Spain, or possibly dark horse matchup, Belgium versus England again in the final. What do you think?
Well, even though I predicted it wrong from here, I'm going to stick with Brazil-Spain in the final.
All right.
Fair enough. I just want good soccer. Doesn't matter to me who's there as long as it's good soccer.
Fair enough.
We had one more Spain-Argentina final. Somebody guessing that. Had another one, Mexico versus England. That could be a fun game to watch.
So there was a question here from Adam Mirza. Do you think that there was any collusion between England and Belgium contending for the two spots of Brazil in the knockout stages? Well, I don't know if there'd be collusion because they'd be competing against each other. Were they trying to lose? It didn't look like it. It looked like both teams were playing a genuine game. Belgium, there were some challenges that went in that looked like if there was a tie, Belgium was kind of hoping that they would become second on the fair play rule.
There was especially that one in the first half that I think we were talking about it in here. The one from Fellaini on, I can't remember who it was, maybe Rashford, where he just came straight through him. Didn't even get close to the ball. And we were talking about it. You have to imagine that in the back of the Belgians' head, there was that idea that if they got one or two more yellow cards and just ground out a draw, and I think that's a problem where you don't like to see it as a neutral, but be successful in this decisions that we're trying to make that and lucky and on a sort of world and send England to the easier side of the bracket.
I was going to say, you could also see it in the first half. Neither team was really going for the win, and the fans definitely let them hear it. You could hear the boos raining down at halftime. I'm not too worried for Belgium with them going in who they're going to play. Just because I think Belgium are a world-class side. I don't think there's going to be a team, honestly, that is head and shoulders better than them in the knockout stages.
Yeah.
So if there's one team I wanted to have the easier schedule, it was definitely England, because I think Belgium can hold their own maybe a little bit more than England can. But at the same time, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening for the knockout round.
I mean, ultimately, you're going to have to play a very good team in the semifinals, right? So
makes sense.
But I think some people would say once you get to the semifinals, kind of anything can happen. As you're one game away from the final, who knows? We did have a message. Greetings from Mexico. Hi,
Emmy.
Talking of Mexico, have the more the most highly fans in the US. How do we rate their chances against Brazil?
When we see the past, they played them 4 previous times. They've scored 0 goals in those 4 previous times. I think when we see matchups like this with other teams, especially England, Germany comes to mind, you do have kind of a psychological disadvantage with some of these past results, even though they're completely different players. It's just something about Mexico facing Brazil might get in Mexican players' heads, and I'm a bit worried for Mexico, but I don't think anyone really gave them a shot against Germany either.
If they play the way they did against Germany, I think Brazil could have some issues on their hands. They were very defensively sound against Germany, and I mean you could tell that they were playing for the break with that German side, and I think you could honestly do the same with Brazil. If Marcelo's not healthy enough to be able to make the return, first off, I mean, they play wing backs, so you're able to counter down the wings if you're Mexico. And to be completely fair, Brazil has fantastic center backs, but there's always going to be a mismatch in speed. Your center backs aren't always going to be as fast as your strikers, and I think that's one area that Mexico could take advantage of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, That was some of the breakdown. Thank you guys for some of your questions. Greatly appreciate those. We might answer one or two more later in the segment. We're actually going to take another quick break here, and we'll be right back with you guys with some of the best of social from the day. Hello everybody, welcome back to SOCCER.COM live in the studio here, Cole with Adam and Martin, and it is now time to take a look at some of the best of social media from the day. And Adam, I'll let you take this.
Yeah, we start with, as you mentioned earlier, we start with that stat that all 32 teams have now scored 2 or more goals at the 2018 World Cup, and that's the first time ever that's happened, so thank you for Squawka Football for tweeting that. In a different game, where the result a win may not have been conducive to the best result. We saw Japan. They knew that Colombia had scored in that other game, I assume. And even though they were down 1-0, they spent the last 5 minutes just passing the ball at the half-field line. So we saw Ali Guidel, obviously sarcastic here. Japan absolutely desperate to find an equalizer at the end of the game. Just passing it between their center backs. It was a boring display to watch for us. So we were much more interested in that Colombia matchup at that point. But
what's the nice thing about getting into the knockout stage is someone has to win
right
at some point.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that happening.
No, that's done for the day. And then this final tweet from Zach Goldman of Where's Football. So this is a commentary on some of the coverage that we've seen from the English and the American coverage of Senegal. But he says, sorry if you think that the team starting players from Liverpool, Napoli, Monaco, Everton, Torino, Hanover, West Ham, etc. is some group of plucky underdogs nobody knows anything about. You don't actually watch this sport. And that was in reference to some of the comments made by, Kelly Smith in the studio for Fox, where she was saying that Senegal were underdogs and that maybe it's this overused stereotype of African teams where maybe they're not skillful, they're more powerful, athletic. But we saw Senegal have some very, very good players, Sadio Mane, and Gate, and we saw them really well this World Cup. And so I think it's a little bit discouraging to see these teams described in this manner. Mm-hmm. And I think with social media and maybe some new faces coming into commentary, we're going to see a shift in that, and I think that's definitely the direction that we need to head.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point to make there, because Senegal definitely did not look like an untechnical team by any means.
No, and even in past World Cups, we've seen Ghana, like Asamoah Gyan is an incredibly technically gifted player, and we've seen Ghanaians like Kevin Prince Boateng as well, and Nigerians, Ahmed Musa. Like, you're going to say that goal from earlier in the tournament is
fantastic goal.
Yeah.
Incredible technical ability. So it's, I think, with social media and maybe some more viewpoints, I think we'll able to see maybe some pictures of these teams.
And actually, you know what? You want to do a giveaway? I kind of want to do a giveaway.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do a giveaway
at the group stage.
That's right. In honor of Adam wearing a tank the other day, that got us kind of inspired, and so we're going to give away a tank today. So, Martin, you want to take this one over?
Sure.
While I show off this delightful Mexico tank.
I don't have to wear it, do I?
Oh,
not
white on white for you. It already looks super bright.
Yeah, so very simple. All you need to do to be entered to win this Adidas Mexico tank is head over to SOCCER.COM/Mexico. There's a sign-up form at the bottom of the page. You put in your details, include the passphrase in this instance, which is El Tri, and you will be entered to win this tank, which is, I gotta say, Adidas has done this with Mexico. They have one for Argentina as well that we carry on SOCCER.COM. Really cool looking jersey, some basketball kind of jersey inspired, something different. If everybody, and their cat has a
everybody has a jersey,
has a jersey at this point, why not get something like that? And I stand out.
I think with Adidas doing this, you're seeing that crossover. We've already seen it with basketball players liking soccer and wearing soccer jerseys around. So I think this is just a natural progression. We've We've got Germany as well, which is on sale for, I think, $55 for. We've got some good selection, and I really like them. Obviously, I wore it on the show, and I'm not like, I don't have that basketball body, but not yet. Sorry, not yet. You're right.
You're still young.
You're right. But I liked it so much that I wanted to wear it on show because they're just so well designed.
Well, with that memory now stuck in our heads, we're going to use that to actually sign off today. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Soccer.com Live. The group stages are done. Now all that's left is some firepower games with the knockout rounds, of course, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final. So, of course, make sure you guys stay with us. Keep up with all the action that's coming on Saturday, and we will be back with you guys then. Thank you, and have a great night, everyone.